Oh, I did that teleportation thing again, didn't I? Well, maybe I can calm down from my spontaneous teleportation issues. Well, you know, looking at the internet some, you know, seeing new releases, and oh, looks like IDW, or rather Hasbro, is putting out a box set for Revolution. That's awesome. When was the last time there was a ROM figure? Okay, this is pretty cool. Action Man. We had the Visionaries, of course, because you know those are coming. A Wraith, that's new. And then we got Matt Trakker in there. Alright. And oh no. Did people just figure out that Matt Trakker is black? Like, that's not something new. He's been black for like over a year now, guys. Well, it looks like we're getting a new Revolution box set. This convention thing. I don't know. I don't care. I don't do toys. But so yeah, apparently the good old wonderful Transformers toy collecting community has well, we see a lot of people complaining about Matt Trakker's race, which is interesting. I follow a Tumblr blog called this is a family-friendly channel, so I'll say fictional TFW, where they post some of the worst TFW has to offer. Now, I'm sure it's not reflective of the board itself. I'm sure a lot of you guys go on TFW. But it just highlights, you know, the little gold nuggets that TFW has to offer. And with this news of this box set, it has a lot to offer today. In the new IDW continuity, Matt Trakker, the main protagonist and leader of Mobile Armored Strike Command, has been reimagined as a black character. In the original 80s, he was white. He's been like this in the entire IDW universe so far, and people who don't read the comics are now commenting on it because of this box set, and don't you just love it when people who have no idea what they're talking about start complaining about stuff? But I digress. So let's take a look at what curated content fictional TFW has to offer us today. Yep, I'm feeling really nostalgic over that black Matt Trakker, just the way I remember him, but Roadblock should be white. Everybody knows a Roadblock was really white. I kind of appreciate the sarcasm there. But the point of the set isn't to be nostalgic, it's for the IDW universe. For fans of the IDW universe like myself, I really only know Matt Trakker as black. Because he is an IDW, and to change up all the team leaders are white dudes that 80s toys had going, and the Honeymooners are black, and the Human Torch is black, and Nick Fury is black. Why don't we make every character black? Because I'm sure black people really care about this sort of thing. Frankly, I don't really care about this sort of thing, but this person seems to care a little too much. Changing the race of a character if the race really doesn't have anything to do with their character really is no more consequential than a uniform change, really. Now, when race and culture plays a role in the character, it's a bit different story, but I don't think Matt Trakker in the 80s cartoon, like, when you watched him, you knew that this was a white guy. Like, you just felt the white coming through him. No. And Matt Trakker being black in IDW was just as inconsequential. White wasn't a big part of Matt Trakker's identity, and neither is him being black now. And as for making every character black, I mean, I think that's a little bit of hyperbole. Lots of characters are being, as you'll see the term used throughout this video, blackwashed, but it's nowhere near the majority. Matt Trakker does not need to be a black man. I mean, why does he need to be a white man, though? Again, this is people who don't know what they're talking about. They haven't read the comics. I wonder how much they watch the show, because the racial identity doesn't play a role. How many times can I say that? Calm down, bro. There's still plenty of white men available in this set if you're feeling threatened. Why is cartoon accuracy so important to everybody when it comes to Transformers, especially in lines like Masterpiece, but not when they decide to randomly change the race of a human character? This is how he looked back then, so this is what adults who watch the cartoon as kids are nostalgic for. He's white, the same reason why any other white character is white. That's just the way it happened originally, and M.A.S.K has no shortage of characters from other races. M.A.S.K doesn't have a shortage of characters, that's true. But, again, new universe, it changes. Toy accuracy, this is what pisses me off about the toy collecting community in Transformers and things like that. They put the toys above the actual fiction. They take children's playthings versus something you can explore themes with, conflicts, make histories, world building. In my opinion, toy accuracy usually hurts the fiction, and I prefer the toys to reflect how they look in fiction. But even then, I don't really care. This is a case where the toy is supposed to reflect the actual fiction that you don't read, where Matt Trakker looks like this, so his toy looks like this. If they made Roadblock white, it would be equally stupid. Changing the race of a character just cuz is dumb. It's not racist to understand that. And I do think it's a bit extreme to label these people as racist. They obviously aren't trying to do anything hostile. And again, I wouldn't really care if Roadblock was white or not. The race doesn't play into the story. It doesn't change anything about the character if that race doesn't tie into that character. I keep saying that. An example of a character whose race and culture matters, I'm thinking of Simon Baz and how his story in the original, well, not original, in the later part of the Jeff Johns run of Green Lantern, that played a role in how he eventually became Green Lantern. National heroes, like heroes to a nation that come from the folklore and history of that nation, probably should have the race of what they are, because it's more of a symbol at that point. I'm thinking of King Arthur, the samurai in the Boshin War. It's not like they shoved a white person in that or anything. That always gets me ticked off. But beyond his race of that character, the history around The Last Samurai was off too, so. Hamilton is also generally a sticky situation, but for the most part, it seems to have at the very least succeeded, and it brings a lot more people into and interested in, American history. And I had to give props for its presentation as well, so I don't complain too much about Hamilton, especially considering the history of theater and how race played a role in that. I understand where fans of M.A.S.K would be upset at the blackwashing of their Matt Trakker. Fans want to see their favorites back, not someone new with their favorite character's name. It's not... Why are they using slashes as apostrophes? No, there is apostrophe. What is going on here? It's not just the paint color used on the toy, it's about the changes made to who the characters are. Like MJ in the new Spidey movie is not the MJ fans love and wanted to see in personality as well as appearance. New 52 teen Wally is not who Wally fans wanted when they brought the character back. They don't look different, they're represented as different people, but with the same names as their favorite characters. The companies and certain people on the internet will tell you that you are wrong for wanting what you liked back. You suffer some form of ism that needs to be curtailed before you're accepted back into polite society. Stop using the backslashes. You need to get with the times. Horse hockey. If you are a Soundwave fan and Hasbro gave you a lime green robot who turned into a surfer and acted like a Ninja Turtle and told you this was Soundwave, you wouldn't accept it. Oddly enough, that description closely resembles, not entirely, but closely resembles a Shattered Glass Soundwave, which everyone loves. And if you're trying to say, oh, Primus, that's an alternate universe, what do you think IDW is? If IDW and Hasbro want a black guy leading M.A.S.K, make a new leader. Let Matt Trakker pass the torch. Look at how Green Lantern has been handled. How Jordan is there. Kyle is still there. John is still there. Guy is still Guy, thankfully. Guy Gardner's a piece of... We just got the new people who wear the badge. They have a book. The Corps has a book. Everyone is a GL. Sales are absolutely fine. You can be modern and not take the piss take a piss on the past. It just takes some imagination. Changing a character's race that's inconsequential is taking a piss on the past? Whew. What? Show me one time where Matt Trakker's identity as a white man progressed the story. Show me one time. Show me one time where him being white affected his character, because surprise, it doesn't matter. This is a less drastic change than, say, the difference between Jetfire in G1 and Jetfire in the Unicron trilogy, and they're both pretty fun characters. Well, they've changed in personality, appearance, everything, and yet people still recognize each one as Jetfire. Recoloring Matt Trakker doesn't make him an entirely new character just with the same name. Are you retarded? I'm not a huge fan, but I vaguely recall Trakker. My first thought was, wait, he's black? Since when? A year ago. Is that racist? Not really. Absolutely. Okay. Black people are not the only minority. Why not make him Latino or Asian? Why not make him Latino or Asian? It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the character. Holy God, even with all the people I'm ignoring, this thread is super uncomfortable. Yep. Talking about race makes you uncomfortable because you don't want to be called a racist for even mentioning the word black, or are you more uncomfortable that race-changing characters seem to be politically correct now? I think they're uncomfortable with how people are treating, how people are freaking out over a character becoming black. That, I'm not going to say that's racist, but it's on a slippery slope. I don't care if Trakker is black, though Latino would be better. Would be better? Like, are we ranking races by how from worst to best? But I care that he's been changed from white to black. Changing someone's race is pure politics or pandering. Let's leave that out of toys. Why not do the thing that Kid mentioned with an actual change of characters portraying Trakker? Is having a black character assume leadership somehow offensive as compared to turning a white character black? What are you trying to say? And I have no doubt in my mind the change to Matt Trakker was done for, you know, a more political-based reason. And while it might be changed for some stupid political reason, it's not brought alive in the comic itself. It's obvious that the writer who invented this Matt Trakker character is a bit of an idiot. He tweeted out something like how he thinks people are uncomfortable around him when he acts friendly and not like a black man. Like, what? Like... But regardless of the fact that it might be meant to be a political thing, it really, in the end, doesn't affect the plot, doesn't affect the story, doesn't affect the themes, doesn't get political in the book, and that is great. I'll put it to you this way. I'd like to relaunch The Cosby Show. I think we should hire Matthew Perry in the lead. Cool? Or is that maybe not appropriate? The Cosby Show? I think it's literally titled Cosby. I don't care if you... That's a Cosby thing, though. It's not just a race thing. Reminds me how idiots online said hiring a Korean to play Mr. Sulu was okay because somehow they're the same Asian. In Western media, Sulu is one of the few well-written Japanese characters. It gave me someone to look up to, but I will say in the end it didn't matter too much. Well, the thing about replacing him with a Korean is that there aren't many Japanese characters to begin with that are well-written. But again, in the end, I don't really care. I didn't even realize there were this many M.A.S.K fans. I mean, IDW's been making comics specifically for you guys over a year now, and you didn't know they made Matt Trakker black? Thank you! Holy crap. It's obvious these people have no idea what they're talking about. No, there were complaints back then too, with some people calling him Matt Blacker. I'm a bad person for laughing at that term. Well... But yeah, there were complaints back then, but there are a lot of people who are saying this is a new thing. I was far more upset that Trakker was an angry young man and not a strong, calm, single father. His race is irrelevant to me compared to the character. That being said, I want everything but Trakker and Robot. Get me up if anyone's going. This is a fine criticism. You know, don't care. There is a lot to M.A.S.K that is terrible. I'm a fan of the IDW universe, and I think it's brought almost nothing but good things to the universe. The one terrible thing it brought into the continuity was M.A.S.K. M.A.S.K has a lot of things wrong with it. It is a terrible book, but Matt Trakker's race is not one of the terrible things. It's not even on the list of things to complain about with M.A.S.K. M.A.S.K is... oh... M.A.S.K is the worst thing created by living creatures on Earth ever since we first crawled out of the ocean as walking fish. But Primus, wasn't the Holocaust created by living creatures on Earth in that time period? Yes, I'm aware. On the subject of Matt Trakker, I have no issue with him being black. Is there an in-canon reason why he's black now? Is there an in-canon reason as to why he's black now? Is there an in-canon reason as to why he's black now? Do you think the IDW universe is a sequel to the M.A.S.K cartoon? It drives me, but when they change a character's race for the sole reason of diversity, without at least providing at least how semi-plausible it is for it, do you think black people don't exist except in science fiction and that there's gonna need an explanation to in the lore? Hello and welcome to Transformers Lore. This episode, we're going to talk about black people in Primex 1005.19 Gamma. On Earth, humanity is divided into things called races. In many areas of the world, specifically centered around Africa, the race is considered by some to be black people. When two black people have a child, usually that child is also black. Matt Trakker is descent from these, quote, black people. Like, what are you talking about? Want a black character? Fine. He's an existing black character. Don't kick the black characters down and make blackface a white character. I can see this argument, but when people try to, diversify their characters, it really isn't done well over the most part. Like Simon Baz, I think that was done really well. But take, like, what's her face? Miss America? Here's a scene from it. Am I the only one on the team who's straight? Princess, I've seen the way you look at me. You're not that straight. Like, is that good writing? I don't think that is. Let's reimagine this scene if they were all straight characters, just to give it that good all, if it goes in reverse, is it problematic test? Am I the only person on this team who's gay? Dude, I've seen the way you look at me. You're not that gay. Can you imagine if that happened? Like, imagine if this character was a guy. You're not that gay. That's a little... Ugh. That's what happens when you set out to make a diverse character. That's, I wonder if these people read Gem and the Holograms. Probably not, who were we kidding? So, elephant in the room, what is going on with Matt Trakker? This isn't Fantastic Four or S.H.I.E.L.D., please change him back. Change him back? Are you trying to say in the IDW comics, Matt Trakker should just spontaneously become white? Because that doesn't make sense with continuity. As a massive fan of M.A.S.K, I'm not down with this needless change. Did the original Trakker die or something? Why the change? And please tell me that at the very least it is somehow explained in a believable story. You want a lore for why do you think he physically changed his race in continuity? Are you... No, you're not a massive fan of M.A.S.K. You don't know these characters if the race is what defines the character for you. Read back what you just said. Hey, is that character black? Why are they black? Because they got black parents. Thank you. Can you please just go take that nonsense back to Tumblr? Seriously, we don't need you constantly spewing your venomous attitude on something that's not even true when we are all just having a productive, civil, adult conversation. What? Is he saying black parents biologically have a black child? Is that somehow... I think that's enough for today. I don't care about race changing if the race isn't impacting the story, isn't impacting the character. Race usually is inconsequential in fictional characters, and whenever it is consequential, usually it's in the right place. Though sometimes even that gets messed up. But Matt Trakker's race change is fine. It doesn't matter. We just went through some comments of some grown men going crazy over the paint application on a children's toy. It's really, really childish behavior, but I don't know what I expect from men who are just boys with toys. If you had told me this morning that by the end of the night I'd be putting together a Nekopara puzzle, I would have called you a liar and a fool.